All right, so we are back in Resident Evil, got 4K on the 5070 Ti, and this one was afflicted by the path tracing issue on the old driver. So what I've got now is the brand new Resident Evil update to the game itself, as well as the brand new driver. And to get that driver, I had to actually go to Nvidia to download it directly. It did not show up in my Nvidia app at all. So if you don't see it, I think it ends in 0.76, like 595.76. I'll drop a link down in the description so you can grab that fresh driver. The main issue with it, though, was the path tracing. So I wanted to run through all of it again real quick, just for you guys, so we can get like an actually updated version instead of having to like change drivers and do this over and over and over. So right here we're at 70 FPS here. We're on DLAA, so everything is completely maxed out. I'm running it exactly how I have been on the other tests. Everything's completely maxed out, all the way pegged, you know, up to 11. We've got it on DLAA. Let's take a quick look at quality before we move on. I just wanted to see kind of what that PCL does here. So we're at 16 milliseconds, and I have the old PCL monitor up that I've used in the past. It's the only one that works. The new driver seems to break the Nvidia overlay. So maybe one day we'll get a driver that all things just work one day, right? But anyway, yeah, we're looking good here. We've got 83 FPS, and everything looks to be just fine. Of course, path tracing was the big issue. So let's jump over and go to, let's see, let's go check out a little bit of balanced, just to see what we can get as far as PCL goes and overall look and feel, because this is still the K model, so it's still the, you know, nice, fresh, new override, but, you know, again, it gives you a little bit more performance. We're up to about 110 FPS, which, again, in this title, there's just no reason to go higher than this. I mean, it's not like a shooter. I mean, you shoot, but it's not like, you know, a typical first-person shooter kind of experience. It's very narrative, so, you know, this would be a really good way to play if you just don't care about ray tracing, which a lot of people just don't. They don't think it's worth it. But let's jump over to ray tracing and just kind of keep going from there, and I'll be right back. All right, so this is the first level of ray tracing. This is just ray tracing normal. Let's jump over and see what kind of settings we are running currently. Make sure we don't have any upscaling. I want to make sure we are on DLAA first. Let's go up to DLAA and test that out. So that gives us a drop to about 49 FPS in this area. I'm going to run around here and get this guy and say, Blockow. There we go, Mona Lisa on the wall. Yeah, so we have 50 FPS here. All right, so we really do need to do some upscaling once you introduce ray tracing. These drivers, man, I mean, they are getting just wildly different performance numbers. Some are better, some are worse. Some let you use the override, some don't. It's been very confusing. So this is the latest and greatest. This is like, you know, what they've apparently been working on. So normal ray tracing, 4K, 5070 Ti. We've got 21 milliseconds on our PCL up there. I wish I could make that larger, but I can't. It's a very primitive kind of thing, but at least gives you the numbers, and I'll try to mention it a lot. Yeah, so we're at 80 FPS here with that ray tracing on normal. You know, everything looks good on quality. It's a really nice upscale. Let's jump down to balanced and see what we can expect there, because, you know, it could potentially put you over 100 FPS with no need to frame generate. Yeah, so right here, kind of out in this area, I was getting some stuttering on path tracing, so we'll be sure to run through here again and make sure that we're not, you know, make sure the situation's better. That's the main thing that this test needs to confirm. So still 90 FPS here. Looking like if you want to get 100 on normal, you're going to have to go all the way up to a performance upscale. Let's check that out real quick. So that is right at, let's see, it takes in a minute. It's going to go up some. Let's see. I say that, watch it make a complete liar out of me. Yeah, what the hell, man? It's like not moving at all. So balance to performance, just, oh, these drivers, man, I don't know. Yeah, let's see. Mainly just the path tracing stuttering is what I wanted to double check, but I'm just running through it again because you never know. Yeah, we're on performance. Let's go to ultra performance and see what that does here. So that will get you over 100, but there's not a lot of difference between these upscale settings, at least in this area. You know, everything's contextual with the area that you're in. So you know, you might be getting better performance than me or worse performance than me, but it does definitely depend on where you're located and what your kind of what your surroundings are. I believe there's a guy down here. Let's see if I can pop him. Where'd he go? No, that's not it. I think I'm in a different place than I realized. All right, yeah. So anyway, dropped her. That's fine. But yeah, we're at 100 and something FPS here with ultra performance. If you really just want to do regular ray tracing on this title, you know, you could totally get away with probably a quality upscale with a 2X, just because it runs so well. It doesn't really need further upscaling. You can just kind of take care of it with some frame generation. And, you know, again, your allocated VRAM is right there under 15 gigs, which is kind of crazy, but at the same time, you know, it's not spilling over. So it's got that going for it. So yeah, let's just keep on running through it. This is probably how I would run it on just regular ray tracing. Of course, we're going to keep working our way up though. So let's jump over to high ray tracing and then on to path tracing. So I'll be right back. All right, so I have got it on high ray tracing. DLAA, I've already set everything up for this particular run right here. We're at 47 milliseconds. Really anything under 50 is fine. It is a little too, where'd everybody go? It is a little too thin though, as far as my, you know, FPS. I would not want to interpolate frames from 37 FPS. So I would definitely say that a quality upscale is necessary just to kind of get started. So let's jump in there and do that real quick. So right down here, there's DLAA, no frame gen. Let's go to quality. So yeah, we are looking good here. So 63, 64. I would want maybe a little bit more than this because balance does look quite nice. Of course, it's upscaling on to 4K, so you can get away with probably performance upscale and still not really lose any visual clarity for the most part. Although I really like the way this game looks on ultra performance. It gives it this softness that is actually aesthetically very fitting to the game. It gives it this kind of like vintage horror film look. So, but right here we're at 78 FPS, so we're at 23 milliseconds of PCL though, so we're looking really good there. You know, 1% lows are in the high 50s, so this is also another good way to play it. Path tracing is intensive, but again, we're about to get into it and see how it runs. Which is kind of the big deal with this hotfix. You know, I ran one without the hotfix, and then I'm running this one with the hotfix, so we'll have something to compare. At least we'll be able to have a reference, right? So, just kind of building a catalog of sorts of all these different, you know, fixes and drivers and everything like that. So, let's run into here and see what we can expect. So we're in the 60s here. Let's go on up to that performance just to get a number on this particular setting and see what all we can expect. So performance gives you a little bit of a lift up to about mid-70s, low 80s or so. Again, probably very, very conditional on where you're at. Yeah, so there you go. Just wore him out. This gun is like a hand cannon. I mean, I absolutely love this thing. It's quite powerful. But yeah, we are at 80 FPS, 82 FPS, so looking good there. Let's check out Ultra Performance just to kind of like get that out of the way because, like I said, it does look good on Ultra Performance and it gives you a ton of frames back. I mean, you're looking at well over 100 here. And again, that slight softness, it just works really, really well. It does not bother me in the slightest. It just looks really, really good and gives it such a cool look to it. You know, I know that there's filters and whatnot for this title, but this is kind of like an unofficial way to get a vintage film look to it and have just incredibly good performance. So right here you're at 17 milliseconds of PCL and you are at 104 FPS. So let's jump over. How would I play it at this setting? Let's see. I'm just going to jump over and probably say that a balanced setting without having to go to performance with a 2X frame gen, it prevents you from having to go any further than balanced, and it still gives you a PCL of mid-30s, which is exceptionally fine for a game like this. That's not a big deal at all. Have 130 FPS here. VRAM allocation is right there at 14. No real spill. That number's never going to be zero, but 528 megabytes, as long as that's not moving wildly, that indicates that you're not spilling. If it were to just be jumping up to 600, 700, down to 400, that would tell me that it's accessing spilled VRAM or trying to, you know, dump spilled VRAM over into system RAM, so you're not seeing any of that at all right here. So right here we have 118 FPS, all right? So this looks really good as well. Let's jump over to that path tracing, which is probably why you clicked on this, and just see if that's any smoother and any better. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are, DLAA with path tracing, whopping 19 FPS, all right? So we are definitely going to have to do some upscaling, probably beyond quality. This is kind of a mess. You know, obviously path tracing is quite intensive. Everything is also completely maxed out. Let's go ahead and just lay him back down. I wonder why those guys weren't there last. But yeah, we are at 18 FPS. So how do we fix this? Well, we're going to upscale, of course. That's going to be one way to do it. You could go fiddle with settings and get a little bit back, but I find that just maxing out and upscaling it gives you so much more than messing with all these different settings down here. I don't get too into that. There are ways you can pull back some of that stuff and gain a little performance back, but we're on a 5070 Ti. We've got 16 gigs of VRAM. Let's just see what it can do maxed out with different levels of upscaling. All right, so this would be quality, and that gives you a PCL of 49 milliseconds, 37 FPS, you know, low 40s maybe. 1% lows. Let's give it some time to recalculate that because we were just in the menu. Give it a second to figure that out. All right, there it went. It's about 34 FPS, you know, still around 40 milliseconds of post-compute latency. So this is, you know, this is looking promising that we're probably going to have to go to a balance with a 2X or just a performance upscale. So let's do that now. Let's just jump over and see what we can do with a little bit more upscaling, just to see if we can get that PCL down to a nice low number, preferably in the 20s, and then do a frame gen. We've got that Reflex Plus boost on, and it works really well in this game. Probably one of the best applications of Reflex boost that I have seen. So I really do appreciate when you know, these things are implemented into the game, and they're not like some hack I got to do or some like file I got to replace and mess with the DLL and all that junk. It just works out of the box. That's kind of what I focus on the most in this channel, is just kind of out of the box settings. Are they requiring you to be like an inspector or are they just like letting you play the game? So right here we are at 40 FPS. All right, so let's go up again and just say that, you know, we're probably going to have to go up to you know, a pretty aggressive upscale. So performance, thank goodness, still looks really good. Let's give it a minute. Let's make sure that everything kind of settles out into place. This game does kind of take just a little bit to get those settings to lock in. So everything looks good though. I mean, we're still at 55 FPS, 58 FPS, but our PCL is such that doing a frame gen right here would be perfectly fine. You got to consider the game. The game itself is not fast-paced. So, you know, you got two options. You can go to Ultra Performance, get that cool look that I kind of dig, or you can just hit it with a 2X frame gen right here, and it'll smooth right out and look really good. So, you know, but the main thing is I'm not noticing any stutters. I mean, I'm going to go around, I'm going to go out here, go through these white doors up here to kind of see where we need to go to see if there's any more stuttering, especially in that area that I, you know, just left. If I could find it, there it is. All right, yeah. So right out in this ballroom area, oh, I did not mean to hit the mic. All right, so right here in this ballroom area, it was stuttering pretty bad on the .71 driver, and as you can see, it is looking way smoother with path tracing. Yeah, I mean, this is like incredibly good here. This is night and day difference. All right, so it did stutter, especially when I had frame gen on. So let's check that out. And then I want to see if it does any stuttering with various upscaling methods. So let's go to 2X here and see what it does on performance with 2X, just to rule that out. Now those stutters that you see right there, that is just simply what the bar graph looks like when you have frame generation enabled. And of course we were exiting the menu there, so that does matter as well. So not noticing any stutters. Everything feels way smoother. So I can kind of definitively say that this driver has fixed the path tracing stutters, because in this area it was pretty repeatable. I could do it quite often and it would stutter. So yeah, I'm just going to run through it here. So let's go to Ultra Performance and just see what that kind of gives us without any kind of without any kind of frame generation. simply because it gives you a ton of performance and it kind of looks cool. All right, so yeah, there you go. So ultra performance, 21 milliseconds on our PCL, 86, 85 FPS, buttery freaking smooth now. I mean, I think we finally got a good driver. I really do. I think this is going to be it. Yeah, we've got 83 FPS, 22 milliseconds post-compute latency, no stutters. So yeah, we're looking really good. I would probably say that I would run this title at ultra performance at this setting, simply because I think it looks cool and it doesn't, you don't have to use any frame generation, so that's going to give you a big break on your VRAM. You, of course, could top it off with some frame gen, so let's explore that for just a little bit. But yeah, the main thing was I just wanted to make sure that it was no longer stuttering. Let's go up to performance with a 2X and see what that does for us. Kind of keep an eye on that PCL, make sure it's not getting out of hand. We've got 100 FPS or so, and 41 milliseconds of post-compute latency. Go ahead and wear that out. Let's see, there's another dude in here with like a, holding like some crutches or something. Where's he at? There he is. No, it's not crutches, it's like one of those IV poles. Yeah, so 91 FPS here. So we are also looking good with this setting, and you don't need to go to that ultra performance if you don't care for the look of it. All right, so right here, like I said, I would probably just go to ultra performance, free up some of that VRAM, and then go ahead and throw a 2X on it, just because, why not? You've got the VRAM to do it. It'll smooth it out. It'll give it a nice flow. You don't have any of that blur or anything like that. Your interpolated frames are much tighter on ultra performance, just because the real frames are less time apart. So your fake frames are making up the difference of a smaller window. So that makes a much smoother experience. And like I said, I really dig the way that ultra performance gives it this soft edge look to it. With 30 milliseconds on your PCL, and you've got a really nice running title here. I want to go through one more setting just to see what, throw in all of DLSS at this game would give us with everything completely maxed out. Let's go to a 4X. I just want to see what the PCL does. 240 FPS. And our PCL, thanks to the incredible technology known as Reflex, gives us 34 milliseconds of post-compute latency with 222 FPS. Damn, that is nice. All right, it makes me want to kind of see what it looks like if you go up to the next level here of upscaling. Let's just work our way back up, just to have a little fun here at the end. If you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. Again, I'm just a dad making these. I really appreciate all the traction that I'm getting. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sharing everything. I can see where things have been shared, and tons and tons of love from you guys, and I really appreciate it. So we're at right now at performance and a 4X frame gen. Just keep an eye on that PCL again, 45, 52 milliseconds. So right here is probably about as far as I would maybe go, just to keep that latency in check. But let's see what we can expect if we go up a little bit more. Go to that balanced setting and come down here and just kind of top it all off. Let's see how far we can go on 4X and see how it responds. All right, so PCL goes up into the high 50s at first. Let's give it a little bit to collect some frames. It might take a minute. So right here, yeah, we're still at 53 milliseconds, which is fine for a game like this. This is not a fast-paced title, 150 FPS here. So very, very smooth, very, very nice. All right, so yeah, let's keep on going. Let's see what the next level up can give us. Just out of pure curiosity, I've kind of feel like I've answered a bunch of questions, but a little fun to have some fun on 4X quality here. This is a nice, crisp, sharp image, but the PCL is probably going to shoot up a little bit. Let's see what it does. Yeah, we're at 60 milliseconds, still not terrible. Reflex is so good at keeping this, keeping that latency down. I mean, 70 milliseconds, yeah, it's a little high, but for a game like this with 4X, with this nice, clean, sharp image, you do get some ghosting. I'm seeing it around her hair, which is generally where it shows up. You can kind of see it against that dark background right there. So this isn't a setting that I would necessarily use. But we're just exploring, right? So let's jump down here. This is exactly how I would play this game at 4K. All right, I would come down here. I would go to ultra performance with a 2X frame gen. Yes, ultra performance, because I think it looks cool. And 2X frame gen gets your TCL right there at 30 FPS or at 30 milliseconds with 140 FPS. I would just probably lock this to 120 and appreciate this smooth update. Throwing some frame gen in there with path tracing used to be a stutter fest, and it is smooth as hell now. So answers the question, yes, the hotfix works. All right, so thanks so much for watching my videos. I appreciate everyone who's joined recently. That really helps out a lot. If you'd like to contribute in any way like that, please do so. It's linked down there with the join button. I can't offer a whole lot. Like I said, I'm just a busy dad, but anything absolutely does help, especially when it comes to the rising costs of all these GPUs that I'm testing. But yeah, if you just want to support me, all you got to do is watch, share my content, drop a like, ask me some questions. I love getting down there in the comments with you guys. Absolutely love what we're doing here. Everybody's super cool. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the very next video. Everybody have a great night. Peace.